Hey guys, so for today's video, I am doing a full face of makeup that I'm thinking about decluttering. Now this video was completely inspired by Julia Adams. I was actually just watching her video last night where she did this video and I loved the idea. I have been itching to do a declutter. Like I was actually planning on filming a declutter today, but I thought this was a great idea to kind of give these products like one last chance to see if I really do dislike it or maybe it kind of redeemed itself today. So this makeup look doesn't really go together. Like the colors don't really vibe, but it was fun to use these products because it's all products that I normally don't show on my channel. So if you want to see this full face of products I might declutter, go ahead and keep on watching. All right, I just put my NYX brow glue in my brows, so they're a little crazy right now, but they will calm down. I'm not excited to put any of these products on my face today. Like this kind of feels like a full face of products I don't like, but I really do want to give these products a second chance just to see if like maybe they'll come through, you know what I mean? So one is the Keys Soul Care Let Me Glow Illuminating Serum. I just don't feel like this product is that special. Like yes, it gives a little bit of a glow. Does it? Yeah, it's a little glowy, but in this case, I would rather use like my Say Glowy Super Gel instead of this product, just because I love the glow and the feeling of the Say one, and this one's just kind of like, it doesn't excite me, you know? I'm gonna do like a pump of that. I've also been not using as many glowy products underneath my foundation, just because I find that my foundations recently have been just so glowy on their own. So I don't need to layer so many products underneath it because I'm already glowy enough, you know? Like that looks nice, and I guess it feels nice. It's pretty lightweight. It's fine. Like I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it. It's just right in the middle, you know? Okay, so then for foundations, I don't really have anything light enough for me today that I want to declutter, so I think I'm just gonna go in with my Project Pan foundation. It is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac, so I'm just gonna apply this off camera really quick because I have nothing else in a foundation that I want to get rid of. My skin is looking really glowy so far, but I mean this is a pretty glowy tinted moisturizer, but with this underneath it, not a bad combo. Now for concealer, I have a concealer that I'm kind of iffy about, and that is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie Concealer. My biggest issue with this is that I think the shade is just too light for me. Like I just don't use it. It's 20 CP. So I'm gonna use this to spot conceal any marks that are still peeking through. I also just feel like this concealer dries really quickly and is almost too much coverage. You guys know I love a full coverage concealer, but I think because this one's a little mattifying, that's not exactly what I want. And I also just hate the brush on this thing. Like I'm never gonna use this brush. No. I'm gonna use my Sigma concealer brush and buff out this concealer. Yeah, see how light this shade is? Like it matches my body, but it's just, I think it's a little too pink undertoned. And I think I'm a little more neutral when I have no tan on. And I also just think this concealer is way too much under the eyes. So like I would only use it to spot conceal, and I feel like right now it's just, Okay, that actually blended in pretty well. I will give it that. I'm gonna pop on my under eye concealer that I am not decluttering. It is the new Natasha Denona one. I cannot stop using this concealer. I think it's amazing under the eyes and spot concealing. So I'm using a light shade. What is this? R2. I'm gonna do a bunch of cream products first, and then I will set with powder. So for a cream bronzer I have not been loving and I think I want to get rid of is the Anastasia cream bronzer in the shade Amber. This was one of the first cream bronzers I bought, like, I feel like when cream bronzers are kind of becoming more of a thing. So I think I bought this maybe like a year or two ago at this point, and I just feel like this color is way too warm, and I remember it being like too pigmented and kind of hard to blend out. So let's see. I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 109 brush, and I just feel like since I bought this cream bronzer, there's other ones that I love more in my collection, like the Rare Beauty bronzer sticks, the Makeup Revolution cream bronzer, the e.l.f. contour wand, my Say cream bronzer, my Mario cream bronzer. Like there's other ones that I love more than this, so I'm like, why am I even hanging on to this one? Because if I have that many cream bronzers that I love more than this one, I'm just never gonna use this one, right? I feel like this bronzer has like a yellowy undertone to it. I want to swatch this next to my other cream bronzers that I have in front of me. Give me a second. Okay, this is the Anastasia one. This is my Makeup Revolution cream bronzer. This is the Makeup by Mario, and then this is my Say one. See how this like undertone is quite yellow compared to the other ones? And now that it's been on my skin for a minute, I'm not liking it as much as I was when I first applied it. It's also just a really thick formula, and like when I just swatched that Makeup by Mario one, like that one is so creamy and jelly and slippery, and this one's just thick. You know? Now I have 3 cream blushes that I've been thinking of decluttering, and these are all like completely different formulas, completely different colors, so I just kind of pulled them all out and we'll see what I do, but here are the 3. The first one is the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Grateful. Now this is the only color of this blush that I own, and I wish I owned some more colors of this, but like, do you see why I haven't used this? Like, this is the scariest red shade in the world, and I just know that this formula is so tricky to work with. So like, it's a very intimidating product to use, and when I'm doing my makeup, I want to just like easily apply it. I don't have to like think about how careful I have to be with applying a product. Next, I pulled out the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Beam. I want to say I bought this like 3 years ago, and I have rarely used this. I'm just not a fan of cream blushes in a squeezy tube like this. I find them to be a little bit patchy to apply. I also just think this color isn't exactly right for me. And the last cream blush I pulled out is this Julep Beauty stick. Again, I just don't think this is a good color for me and my skin tone, and I also just don't like blushes in a stick form like this. I've learned that I really just like my cream blushes in a compact. Like, I'm a compact girly all the way. I'm gonna swatch all these colors and we'll see which one to put on, because I'm definitely not going to put on all 3. And I know that the color of these is half the reason why I don't want to keep any of these cream blushes, because they're just very intense colors. Like, all of these colors are so bright and intense. Like, I just don't want to put these on my face. Oh my gosh. I think for today's video, I'm gonna put on the Rare Beauty one just because I haven't used this blush in so long that I feel like I gotta give it a chance. I'm very nervous though. I'm like wondering, do I need to buy this blush in like a more gentle shade? Let me go. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm using that same BK Beauty brush. I'm gonna look like a clown. Oh no. You know how people have been doing those like color analysis on TikTok where you like wear a white shirt and you like hold up what colors work for you? I really want to do that. And there was like this website going viral that kind of like told you what colors fit you best. And I think for me, I was like a cool summer. And so based off of that, these bright colors are like not good for my skin type. Okay, but this doesn't look that bad. I mean, it's definitely like very warm. Almost a little sunburnt. Do they make these in minis? I think they do, right? Or is it just like in little sets where they have them in minis? Because I know it would take forever to go through one of these when you only need such a tiny bit of product. Okay, this color isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. The fun thing about this type of video too is that I feel like I could do this video all the time. Whenever I'm like itching to do a declutter, it's like, well, let's do a full face of products you kind of want to declutter and give them one last chance. Did I just blend it out like so much that you can barely see it? I'm gonna pick up what's on the back of my hand. Did I overblend? I don't hate that blush. After I blended it out and actually blended it out pretty well, it doesn't look splotchy like I thought it would. You know, I thought maybe I'd be able to see a dot somewhere where I placed it down, but it's not bad. What do you guys think of this color? I have no idea what my hair is doing, which is why I'm trying to keep it out of frame right now. Okay, now I'm gonna set my face down, and for that, I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I know that so many people love this powder, but in my mind, I feel like this powder would make me look extra dry and would just like set everything down too much, because I've really been more into a powder like the Kosas Cloud Set where you can set down your face but you can still see the glow of the products underneath it. You know, like I just did all this work to have this glow and I don't want this to completely mattify it, but we're gonna try it. Okay, I'm gonna start this under my eyes first just to get these creases away. And sometimes I feel like powders that say they're translucent aren't actually translucent, which is something I struggle with when I'm pretty pale like today. Like, I don't want the powder to add any color to my skin, right? Okay, that actually looks really smooth under my eyes. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush and set the whole face. Did that cover up my glow? It looks like it. But sometimes I do want my powder to be a little more mattifying, especially like right around my nose area in my pores. Going back to what I said about I want all my cream blushes in a compact, I think I'm the same way with powders too. I just like my powders in a compact. It's just easier to pick up. It's not as messy. I actually do feel like my skin looks pretty good, but it definitely took away some of the glow, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. But it doesn't look as drying as I remember it looking. Okay, we're gonna zoom in and jump around to the eyes really quick, and then we'll go back to the face. So for the eyes, I have the Auric, what are these even called? The Smoke Reflex by Auric. So I bought these. I have 3 of them. I bought them, I think when they first came out, which I think was about 2 years ago at this point. I'm a big fan of Samantha Ravindal. I love the packaging of these. It's been a long time since I've used one of these. I think the formula might be dried out, which is a great reason to declutter. So at the bottom you have this kind of cream product, and then in the lid is this like pretty little topper. I do remember when I used these in the past, I always had a hard time with the cream product, just like picking it up, laying it down, getting it to look smooth. So I'm a little nervous to use these today. Okay, so I'm definitely leaning towards one of these 2 shades. I kind of like this more rose gold looking one. And I also have an eye primer that I'm thinking of decluttering. So this might be a terrible combo using 2 eye products that I don't really know how I feel about them right now. But the eye primer is the one by About Face. So I'm gonna pop this on my eyes really quick. And the reason why I don't love this eye primer is that it is so slippery feeling. I feel like it doesn't really give my eyeshadow any grip to it, and it's also clear, and I prefer my primers to have a little bit of a tint in them, but I'm gonna pat this in. And you guys know, I've been kind of mixing in my eye primers recently. I've been using my Urban Decay primer potion, and my Rare Beauty one, and then the Essence one. So it's like I have 3 eye primers that I like quite a bit. So why am I holding on to this 4th one that I don't love as much? Okay, moment of truth with these Auric eyeshadows. Normally I would like to use my finger for this, but I have nails on, so it'd be kind of hard to like dip into the pot. So I'm gonna use a Sigma E54, and I'm just gonna go straight in with this. I've also just learned that I prefer to reach for palettes when I'm doing my eyeshadows. I don't really like to reach for singles or even like cream eyeshadows, because if I'm creating a look, I like to create a look with just that one palette, you know, because that's easier for you guys to follow along with, not me being like, oh, you need this cream eyeshadow from this brand and this glitter topper from this brand. It's not as dried out as I thought it would be, so that's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna take a Sigma E25 with no product on it and kind of blend around the edges here. Okay, I need something to put in the crease, so obviously I'm gonna dip into my palette and I'm gonna pick up the shade Basic. Just need like a little shade in my crease right here. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of Bare and just kind of use that to soften these edges. I guess we'll see if it'll crease at all while I'm finishing the rest of my makeup. Uh-oh, guys, I messed up. I took the caps off, right? So I have these 2 lid toppers, and I don't know which one goes with which. I feel like these 2 go together, right? Well, I'm gonna try the topper shade. This one I am gonna pick up on my finger. And what's interesting about this is that it's a very dry formula. Like, just touching it, it does not feel creamy or smooth. It feels dry. So let's see if this does anything on top. Ooh. Am I like blown away by it? No. It's definitely pretty though. Okay, I went ahead and got this eye cut up. I also did my brows off camera. I think for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take the more brown color. This is Defiance. And there might still be a little bit of the first color left over on this brush because I'm using the same E54, but that's fine if they mix together. I mean, the nice thing with these kind of cream eyeshadows is that there's no fallout. Like, it's a cream, so it's gonna stay in place. So that's kind of a plus. I'm gonna go back into my palette and take a little bit of Cold Brew. I'm just gonna press that along the base of my lower lashes just to deepen this up a little bit. Now I don't have any eyeliners I want to declutter, but I am just going to use an old one today because it might be on its way out. This is like the old House Labs liner in the brown shade Whiskey. And I'm just going to do a little wing with this. My wings are so uneven right now. This one's going straight out, this one's going up. Oh, guys, today is just not a good day. Okay, I know you guys like to see when I fix my mistakes, so let's fix my mistakes together. I'm taking some micellar water on a reusable Q-tip. I'm taking both wings off. I'm gonna take this makeup wipe that I had near me. Just gonna pat that away. And then I like to take my finger and kind of pat over everything. Okay, wings are gone. Now I just need to kind of rebuild that base up again. So it's kind of turning into a mess, guys. I'm gonna take a little bit of the Quickie concealer, like literally the tiniest bit on each eye. Take my little brush, pat that in. Just because I'm gonna have to reapply that eyeshadow and it's gonna need something to stick to, but I want something with a little bit of color to it because now my skin might be a little bit red from taking some makeup off. Honestly, it's at this point in a video where I just want to say like fuck it and stop filming and like quit, but I'm not gonna quit today. We're gonna keep going, guys. I have all day. It's only 10:30 in the morning, so I'll be here fixing my eyeshadow all day if I need to. Okay, also just another thing that's annoying with these Auric things that you always have to take out this, and it's like hard to take out with my nails on, and that's just me being picky. Okay, I'm going back to that rose gold shade and adding that back to the kind of outer corner, outer part of my eye. Also, those wings were completely my fault. That was not the product's fault at all. I was like trying to do a little basic thin wing, and I can normally do it fine on this eye, but it's my right eye because it has more of a hood. So it's shaped a little bit different, and it got out of hand. Okay, I had a slight distraction. I put on a hat because my hair was just bothering the crap out of me. But I'm pretty much just kind of blending out this area right here, tapping it over with that E25 I was using, and it's actually blending out pretty well. So it's almost as if a wing mistake did not even happen. But I don't like how harsh that line is looking on my lid, so I'm gonna take more cold brew on just a little angled brush, and I'm just gonna tap right over that line. I just feel like putting shadow on top of liner makes it look so much smoother, a lot less harsh. And clearly a wing is just not gonna happen today. So I'm jumping all over today, but I actually want to go back to my face makeup because it's bothering me. So I actually don't think I like the way that my skin's looking. Like, I feel like the glow is gone. My skin looks a little just dull right now. So what we're gonna do is add on the bronzer that I want to declutter. Oh my gosh. And this might come as a shocker to a lot of you guys because I feel like this is like everyone's favorite bronzer, and it is the Fenty powder bronzers. So I have two shades. I got Shady Biz and Into Sun. I think Into Sun is my paler shade, but I just feel like whenever I've used these recently, there's like no product coming off, and I've tried to fix the product inside, see if there's any like hard pan. Like, I've tried scraping it a little bit. I've also seen a hack of taking like some tape and just like peeling off the top layer, but I just feel like I don't like how this looks on my skin. So let's try it again. So I'm gonna use Shady Biz. I just feel like I'm not as into matte bronzers anymore. Like, I've really just been using my Hourglass bronzer that's in my project pan that I've been using for the last like 2 years now. I just don't really think I like a matte bronzer. I prefer more of a baked formula that maybe has like a little bit of a sheen in it. I've also been using the Makeup by Mario, what is it called? The names are so weird on these. The one that's like a little gradient, the Skin Perfector. So I've been using this as a bronzer, and I like that too because it has like a sheen in it. But I just feel like this doesn't do much for me. And I don't think this is the right color either. I think it's kind of the same as the Anastasia one. I can't find it. My desk is so messy right now. I'm even gonna try Into Sun, which I think is the lightest shade. And it just doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't bring me joy. I don't think I like the color. So why am I keeping it? I also feel like now that I'm sitting here with more products on my skin, I'm not liking that Rare Beauty blush either. I don't think the color is right for me. So for a powder blush, I've been thinking of decluttering. I have had this blush for so long. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Swoosh and Pop blusher in the shade Sex on Fire. I think I've owned this for like 5 years at this point, and I rarely use it. Again, I think it's just the shade. Like, the shade is just really light, and I think I've just held on to it so long because I'm like, it's Charlotte Tilbury, right? Like, it's bougie makeup I want to keep. I'm just gonna try this on my cheeks. That does not look good. And I feel like I don't like formulas like this where it's 2 different colors because I feel like you just don't know what you're gonna end up with. Like, in my mind, this should be like a kind of mauve-y shade. Just don't think I really like this blush, specifically the color. I think that's kind of the theme of today. Like, a lot of this makeup I've been wanting to declutter. It's just the colors, and I think I need to be more picky about makeup that I keep in PR or just makeup that I buy, and like, is it really a color that I like to wear? I need to ask myself, like, is it a color that actually looks good on my skin tone? Because not every color is gonna look great on everyone. Okay, I do feel like that brought a little more life back into my face, which I'm happy about, but still just the color, not loving it. Now, I don't really have any highlighters I want to declutter. You guys know I've been using the Rare Beauty highlighters nonstop ever since I got it, but now I do have some highlighters in my collection that are really old but I don't want to get rid of, and I'm actually going to put them like in my, I call it like my makeup memories box. I have this big tub in my closet where I keep just a bunch of old makeup that just gives me like nostalgic memories, and so one of those is the Natasha Amrezy highlighter. Like, who remembers this? This highlighter blew up. So I'm not going to declutter this, but I figured, like, let's just use an old highlighter for fun today, and hopefully this looks good. I remember this formula was just like so unique when it came out, and everyone was like, Anastasia, like, you need to make this a permanent highlighter, and I'm shocked that they never did, right? Oh my gosh, remember their glow kits? The Anastasia glow kits were where it's at. Again, I know I'm jumping all over the place today, but I'm gonna go do some mascara, maybe some lashes off camera, and then I have like a few more products, and then we're gonna wrap things up and I'll give you my final thoughts on what I'm actually going to declutter. So I went ahead and just put on mascara, and for the mascara, I used one that I think I just need to throw away because it's kind of old. It is the Lawless One and Done mascara. Now, I think at first I really did enjoy this one, but as it's gotten a little bit older, like, it just got really clumpy, and like, it's a thick mascara. It's also just really messy to apply, so I think it's just kind of like at the end of its life, and I just don't need this in my collection anymore. But I just kind of wanted to give it like one last chance to see if it really is kind of like dead right now, and I think it is. Now, for a lipstick, I just went through my lipstick drawers, and I wasn't really planning on decluttering this, but I'm going to apply lipstick that I pretty much never wear and probably should declutter because I just don't think I like it very much. And that is the Fenty Beauty lipstick. The shade is Pose Queen. And I don't even know if it's gonna go with today's look, but I'm just gonna put it on. I think one of the reasons that I never grabbed for this is just the packaging, because I don't know what shade it is just by looking at the outer component, because like they sell this separately, right? And I feel like my brain needs to know what I'm grabbing for, and I always forget that this is the color inside that I chose. So I'm just going to put this on. Formula feels really good. It glides on easily. God, my lip line sucks though. Sometimes I'll just take like a little brush, kind of fix my lip line. It's also just like not the vibe that I needed for this whole look today, but I just wanted to try something that I normally don't put on, right? Okay, before I apply this last product that I think is going to ruin the whole look, because I am 99.9% sure I'm gonna declutter it, let's talk about the face really quick, because I know this last product's gonna just change everything. I gotta say, I think the Anastasia highlighter definitely saved the look because my skin was looking really dull. I think because of the Mercier powder, but I actually think I'm gonna keep this because I do really like how it's set under my eyes, and also like in my T-zone area where like my pores are a little bit bigger right here and on my forehead. I like that. So I think maybe I would use like my cloud set powder all over and then just use this on the areas where I really need it. I think this blush is tricky, but I think I need to be honest with myself. Like, I own, well, let's say like 20 blushes, probably more. I'm just gonna estimate 20. And like the question is, do I really need this when I own so many blushes that I truly do love? Why would I keep something that I don't really think I like? It's a little tricky to use, and I just don't think the color is right for me, you know? And then for the Charlotte Tilbury blush, I don't think I like the color either. I know that Obviously these two together is a weird ass color combo, but when I swirl this together, it does not give me the color that I expect to get. And I need to know what I'm getting when I'm using a product, right? So I don't need this one either. Okay, I wanted to talk about those blushes first because I think this final product might change everything. So this is actually a new product from Makeup Forever, and it is the little Twisty Do powders. So let me tell you what happened. I haven't used this on camera yet. I've only used it off camera. When I first got this in PR, I thought it was going to be similar to like the Givenchy powders that are like the little quad, like the Prism Libre. Is that what it is? And I thought it'd be kind of brightening and maybe like a little color correcting. And so when I first used this, I used the shade Light all over my face as kind of like a finishing powder, and it made me look so ashy. Like it doled down my skin to make me look gray and ashy, and I was like, that's really weird. So then the next time I used the shade Medium, and I never opened Medium because I don't consider myself a medium. I'm a light to medium at my deepest, you know what I mean? And this kind of did the same thing. I did not like how it set my face. I'm gonna use Light. Now I will give it this. I do like the packaging, and I've seen other people talk about this too. So you twist the bottom, and it was really hard to twist the first time I used this. You have to do like a little quick twist. There we go. And I like that you stick your brush in here. Like, that's nice. It's not messy at all. I enjoyed that aspect of it, but it's what it does to my face is that I didn't enjoy. So you kind of just like stick your brush in this hole. So that's fun. I kind of like being able to like tap off the sides of my brush inside of it. I'm going to put it on this side of my face, and maybe it'll do the thing again. Do you see how that just desaturated everything on my face? Like, my blush is covered now. That is not what I want out of a powder. Like, why would you completely cover up my blush? You're just a powder. And it's also very, very glowy looking. Like, it's too much. I don't want to use it on my face. Like, that's straight up. I am gonna even out my face though and do it on the other side. I knew this would happen, but I wanted to give this product one last chance. Do you see that? Oh my gosh. It just turns me into like an ashy monster. Yeah, I hate how this looks, and I feel like it's making my lip color look really bad next to my now ashy skin. These are terrible. Like, all right, so here is the makeup look finished of my full face of products I want to declutter. We already talked about the blushes. I am going to declutter both the Rare Beauty and the Charlotte Tilbury. Now the Fenty Beauty bronzers, they're not doing it for me. I'm gonna declutter these ones too. And that's so weird to say because I know that so many people love this bronzer, that this is like their top bronzer, but it's not my top bronzer. And then the Anastasia cream bronzer, I will declutter as well, just because I have so many other cream bronzers that I love way more than this. Like, what's the point of holding on to this if I have 5 other ones that are like way above this one for me? So this is a declutter. Whew! This is kind of a different way to declutter, but I like the feeling because I know that I gave these products like one more chance. The Lawless mascara is honestly just going in the garbage because I just think it's old. Adios. The About Face primer. I'm still unsure about this one, so I'm gonna hold on to this one a little bit longer. I do feel like my eyeshadow is holding up pretty well, but it's only been an hour, so like I don't really have any creasing yet. I might have to do a video with this that I did with the Rare Beauty versus the Essence eye primer where I wear one on each eye, so maybe I'll do this in some kind of like eye primer comparison video because I need to keep using this, especially with powder eyeshadows because I used cream eyeshadows today mostly, and that's not what I normally use. So the About Face primer gets to live another day. Now the Auric Smoke Reflex. Ugh, this one's tricky for me. I like how my eyes look today. I like the rose gold color. They weren't completely dried out like I thought they might be, but I think I just have to be honest with myself. Like I said, I know that I don't grab for cream shadows, single shadows. I like to use a palette. And that's just me. And I also feel like the topper shade on the one that I used was really dry feeling, and it didn't like... It wasn't a magical experience putting on that topper. You know, like when you put on an Urban Decay Moon Dust shadow and it's like, it's an experience. You're like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I didn't feel that way about these. Like, yes, it's pretty, but it didn't blow me away. I don't think I need to hold on to these anymore. Sam, I love you. They're just not for me. I held on to them for a long time, so I'll give myself props for that. What else did we use today? So the other 2 cream blushes, the Julep one and the Glossier one. I think I'll have to kind of do this type of video again to give these guys a true chance because I obviously didn't use them today, so I can't declutter them yet. So those will be put to the side. The Urban Decay Quickie Concealer. Did it spot conceal? Yes. Does my skin look terrible? Yes, but it's not because of this product. I also feel like I should try it under my eyes again before I truly make up my mind. So I'm going to hold on to this one a little bit longer. It's still on the chopping block though, you know what I mean? The Fenty lipstick I don't think goes with this look at all. And again, my problem was application-wise, how I can't see the color inside. Like that's just really annoying to me. And this is a pretty, kind of a deeper peachy color, and that's just not what I wear. I also I prefer a lip gloss or a lip oil. It's hard to declutter things. I think I'm gonna declutter it. The formula was great, but again, I have things that I like more than this, so why hold on to it? And then the Keys Soul Care Let Me Glow Illuminating Serum. This one's tricky for me too. I actually did like applying it on my face. The texture was nice. My Urban Decay Hydromaniac laid nicely on top of it, and I didn't feel like it was too glowy. And I mean, my glow kind of went all over the place with everything else on top, but I mixed on this one too. I'm kind of wondering maybe I need to like use this for a couple weeks or so and try it with my other foundations that I'm loving and using and see how I really feel about this. So I'm gonna hold on to this one for now. Again, still on the chopping block, but she's safe. So I am decluttering quite a bit, but some things are still on the chopping block. They have a second chance. This was fun. It was a different video, but it was kind of nice to use products that I normally don't use on camera. You know, you didn't see any of my favorites in here, really. It's stuff that I've kind of been hesitant to use on my face, products that I'm not sure about, but it was a day. I could definitely see myself doing this video again. Like I said, I've just been itching to do a declutter, so maybe I'll do this video again. Let me know your thoughts on it. Of course, I'm gonna link Julia's video down below that inspired this whole video, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.